Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking again on why you should play Grand Archive, kind of give you some reasons on why I think the game is going to continue to grow and be a really good trading card game for you to get interested in, whether you're coming from Flesh and Blood of my original audience or you're just first time checking out the game and you found my channel. Hopefully I can give you some valuable reasons from all angles on why I think you should be interested in this game. So we'll get right into it. If you're new to the channel, look at all the stuff down below, Discord, all that cool stuff. Two really quick housekeeping items. I know I put out a video about my Flesh and Blood content. I'm going to be doing mainly Ninja stuff. Like, that's not going to change. When it comes to the Grand Archive stuff, again, I've only done like 4 Grand Archive videos on the channel. So if you're coming to me for the first time because of Grand Archive, thank you so much for stopping by and welcome. Just to give quick 20-second blurb, I do very like one-shot take style videos, very conversational style videos. I don't like to do a lot of edits. I purposefully don't do edits. I want my content to seem like you're having, a more in-depth conversation with someone at your local game store. That's the type of vibe that I try to get off, and I think most of my Flesh and Blood friends can attest to that here at the channel. So hopefully you enjoy it. But I want to talk about Grand Archive again. I did a how to play or why you should play Grand Archive video in October of last year. I checked. And the game is just growing at such a cyclic rate. And I think it's important to talk about, kind of how it's evolving and why I think it's going to be one of like the top growing games of this year. And I think it's just going to explode. So we'll get right into it. I'll give you 5 good reasons, both from like aesthetic purposes, gameplay side, community side, all that stuff on why I think you should play this game. And hopefully it translates. So the first thing I want to touch on is community and growth. In any trading card game, we want to have people to play with, right? You could have the best card game in the world with all the good mechanics and all the fun lore and all this crazy stuff, but if no one plays it around you, right, it's hard to get into it. I know, I'm okay saying this because I love the game to death, but like Alpha Clash is one for me. I love Alpha Clash so much, but it's hard for me to play it because locally it's not as much interest. And games grow all the time and things keep going, but for this game specifically, the community and the growth of the game is just, it's going at a cyclic rate. It's rapidly growing. The Ascent Seattle that just took place this weekend had 288 players signed up for it. Now, just to give you a reference, this game isn't even 2 years old yet as far as like organized play is concerned. There were some, the first set dropped in April of 2023. There was some like first edition stuff that came out before that, but there wasn't like any organized play behind it. The full game has been released for now 23 months. That's crazy. For them to have 288 players show up to an Ascent level event, which for my Flesh and Blood peeps, and I have to make this reference because this is what my channel was built on, is equal with a calling. That's the best way to look at it. Ascents are basically callings, but their Ascents are a little bit more spread out, whereas, in the other game I cover, we have callings like every month for the most part in various parts of the world. They have an Ascent like not quarterly, a little bit more often than that, but basically that's the level you're looking at. So for them to have 288 players at this level of an event in under 2 years is just so good. The game Abyssal Haven has sold very, very well. The game is growing set by set. It's getting more dynamic every set. And I think if you're looking for a card game that has a good positive community that is growing in all parts of the world, and a game that even if it's not as popular in your area, I think you could grow it very easily, this is the one for you. I'll link their Discord down below. Their Discord is also very fun to be around. It's one of the more positive Discords. I know that sounds weird, but typically with trading card games, I actually don't recommend the big community Discord because there's just some judgmental eyes in the public space when it comes to you like trying to learn. People are very dismissive sometimes. But this Discord, at least in my experience, everyone's is different. I have not found that. They're super welcoming, love to help you out, and I definitely suggest giving it a shot. So community and growth is number one, and I think that's the biggest one for me. Like, it has to be there for a card game, right? The second reason for 2025 is the art. The art is sick. Now, I will give one caveat, and I'm okay saying this. There is some anime waifu-ness going on in the game. Some people would like to call it fan service in like the video anime world, right? Now, it's not like rampant, but it is in the game. It's just it's a part of it. So if that turns you off, that's completely fine. No harm, no foul. It's not everywhere in the game. It's not like that's like their main selling point whatsoever. There just is some of it. Regardless, though, most of the art is like the one you see up here. Just beautiful, amazing art. If you're a big anime fan like myself, I love watching anime. I love reading manga. This game just immediately clicked with me. Now, if you're not an anime fan, then you're probably not even interested. And be surprised if you're even on this video if you're not like, if you don't enjoy the anime aesthetic to at least some degree. Otherwise, I don't know why you'd be interested in this game. Regardless, the art is amazing. Definitely suggest giving it a look, and it gets better every single set. Like, they are improving every single set. The stuff is just getting, excuse my phone, stuff is just getting more and more like intricate and more like, bright. I just pulled a CSR. They have full arts, basically like Marvels from Flesh and Blood, that are signed and really, really cool. So if you like that, it's more of like a simplistic reason of liking the game, but I think the art and the anime aesthetic is amazing. So if you're into that, definitely give that a look. The next one is the resource system, and I'm not going to go super in-depth on this. I'll give you the basics. I'm a link, if I can remember to do all these links, I think I will. Main Deck Dan's video on how to play the game. I think it's really probably the best resource you can do. But the resource system is really cool because what got me interested in other card games I cover, like Flesh and Blood, was the resource system. The fact that every card can be used offensively, can be used for pitch, and even can be used defensively. Now, in this game's a little bit, more spell heavy. It's not just units and attacks defense all the time. It's not spell heavy, but it has spells involved, right? More removal, whereas Flesh and Blood's kind of like, tactile in that instance. But the resource system is very unique. It's actually, there's not much like it anywhere else in the game. Whereas like cards have a cost, as you can see in the top left corner of Black Market Broker. This is a unit, like a creature, right? Equivalent. It costs 4 to play. Most of the time you draw 7 cards on your first turn because your spirit allows you to draw 7 cards or 6 cards. So in order to play Black Market Broker on my turn 1, I can play a 4-drop on my turn 1. All you do is you put 4 out of 7 of your cards down into your memory, and then you're able to cast Black Market Broker. And then what you do is you pick those cards back up the next turn, so long as you don't use them for other things, and you get them back. But you have a limited resource system in, if I have Black Market Broker and a 2-cost card, that's going to cost me 6. But if I only have 7 cards in my hand, then I have to decide, like, okay, what do I want to put down? So you use the cards in your hand to pay for things, and you get those cards back eventually, unless you banish them for memory usage. Another resource in the game is called Memory, which you see in the top left. This is for, like, equipment or regalia, which is, again, for my Flesh and Blood peeps, this is like your equipment, basically, or your weapons. Assassin Rippers cost 1 memory. So either if you have a floating memory in your graveyard, which some cards have floating memory on them, then you can use that to pay for it. But if you don't, let's just say I played Black Market Broker my turn 1. I have 7 cards, so I play Black Market Broker, that's 1 card, and then I put 4 cards down in my memory, right? So that's 5 cards total. I'm left with 2 cards in hand. Then on my next turn, those 4 cards in memory, you do what's called your pre-recollection phase, which is like basically if you decide if you want to put out a weapon or a dagger or an item from your material deck, and let's say you decide you want to put out Assassin's Ripper, and it costs 1 memory to do it. You then, if you don't have any floating memory, which we didn't, because all we did was play Black Market Broker the previous turn, we have to pay one of those 4 cards that we put down for Black Market Broker. At random, they get put in the banish, which then allows us to pay for Assassin's Ripper. So you go down a card and then you draw and do your thing, right? Draw for turn, stuff like that. So there's ways to manipulate your memory with floating memory, with card draw, and with things like that, to where you're using your cards from hand to pay cards you want to play, and then using your cards in memory to pay for weapons, items, regalia, that type of stuff. So it's this really unique resource system. And again, go to Main Deck Dan's video down below. He's very good at explaining all of it. Highly suggest it if you're a little bit confused. Try to do it as simplistic as I could. But I love this resource management system. It creates a whole dynamic to the game that I think is really, really good. And I think it gives you a uniqueness that no other card game really does right now. And again, because of what my channel is built on, like Flesh and Blood has its, unique resource system, but so does Grand Archive. And I think that both of the games are very strong in that aspect. The next one is thematic and intrinsic decks. So in this game, you start with a spirit, which is your water, earth, or fire, or you could have a non-elemental spirit, I believe. I've never messed with those. But the original spirit will tell you what type of base element you can play. So if you have a fire spirit, you play fire cards, earth, or wind spirit, not earth. Wind spirit, you play wind cards, and water, you play water cards. But then you level your spirit into what's called a champion. Most all champions, with the exception of a few, have 3 levels to them. Level 1 gives you a certain ability, and it has a little bit more health. Then level 2, you get a little bit more health, and you get an additional ability. And then level 3, which is usually the pinnacle of these champions, you go into a new element. So as you can see, Diana is a Umbra champion, or Umbra element champion. So you might start with water, and then you go Diana level 1, Diana level 2, so you're a water Diana deck. And then you go into Umbra in level 3, which gives you certain things. And each element has its own theme. We also have Xander here, who's Luxum Assassin. And then you have Diana. Now, the cool thing about this game, as opposed to others, as you notice, Diana is a ranger human. Now, you don't just have to play ranger cards. You can play assassin cards in your ranger deck. There's just certain additional abilities that you can get if you have a class bonus. So, for example, Assassin's Ripper says, class bonus, remove a preparation counter from your champion. So, if you are an assassin champion like Xander, then you'll get that class bonus from Assassin's Ripper. But if you're not playing an assassin champion, that's fine. You're just not going to get the class bonus. The only thing you have to follow in terms of deck building is you have to have the correct element live in order to play that. So if I'm a water deck, I only can play water cards. You can't play fire cards in a water deck. If I go into Diana Umbra, I can't play the Umbra cards in my deck until I get to level 3. So what this creates is this very thematic, really cool, like you feel like you're playing the hero you're playing. A lot of hero-based trading card games or champion-based trading card games can sometimes struggle because you'll play like 4 different champions or 4 different heroes, whatever the word they use is, and you notice that they all kind of are just like a little bit of the same thing, right? Whereas these, I really do feel like a lot of these champions have very intrinsic and unique play styles. Now, you can just play level 1 champions, right? You don't have to go all the way up to level 3 every time. You can do a water Diana list and just go to Diana level 1 and then stay there if you wanted to, and then run more aggressive game plans with like allies and creatures and stuff like that. But if you want to go to this level 3, you can, and you get these really, really cool thematic decks that I think give players a little bit more identity in the game, which helps you be interested in it even more. So hopefully that makes sense. The final one, and this is the one I don't know if I talked about it last time or not, but the entry-level product in this game is one of the best in the game. Like, they have the starter decks that come out every single set, but they also have the Recollection decks, which this is the Dao Chan Recollection deck that just came out in the latest set, Abyssal Haven, and then you have like the Tristan Recollection deck that came out in Mercurial Heart. These are like somewhat similar to Armory decks, but even better. So, like, for example, the Dao Chan Recollection deck, it comes with a full deck with full play sets of every card to include SRs, which is like equivalent to legendaries. It comes with a full set of Dragon Shield sleeves for Dao Chan, like their Dao Chan Dragon Shield sleeves, and it comes with counters, and it's in a nice like box that you also can use as a deck box if you want, and it's $60. So for $60, you get all of this stuff. You get a full deck that I would say is about, if I had to guess, if I had to give an arbitrary number, I would say like 75% tuned. Like, it is something that you can take to locals and not feel like you're just like, you know, limping your way through matches, right? It actually can like do its thing and be successful. Super, super good. One of the best entry-level products. I highly suggest if you're really interested in the game and you want to get into some stuff, look at the Recollection decks. There should be 4 at this point. You're 4 or 6? 4. Yes. Dao Chan, Guoja, Tristan, and Sylvie. So 4 Recollection decks. Definitely give them a look. Tristan is an assassin. Dao Chan is a cleric with some Terra style stuff. You have Guoja, which is a tamer, and then you also have Sylvia as a tamer. So definitely give these a look. I think it's really, really good. It's one of the best starter level products, both from like a general enjoyment perspective and a competitive perspective. So definitely give that a look. But yeah, those are 5 basic things. Hopefully this made sense. I didn't want to go too crazy with it, but the game is amazing. It's gotten so much bigger in the last year, well deserved, and it's going to continue to get bigger. The game has really good mechanics. If you're looking for a game that is equal in terms of general fun and competitiveness, I think that this is like one of the best TCGs in the market for that. Some TCGs, you know, they sway really competitive. Some TCGs are very casual. This one is right in the middle, in my opinion. It maybe leans a little bit competitive, but it's really, really good. You can definitely take a pet deck to locals and have fun with it. It's not like, you know, we're all training for a pro tour at all times, which I really enjoy. People love the pet decks in this game, but also a lot of people are trying to get better at the game and be good at it. But the community is amazing. I'll link the community Discord. I will link a link to their website and their lore page. I'll link where the most recent tournament was, so you can see like deck lists and stuff, and then I'll link Main Deck Dan's video. Hopefully I can remember all 4 of those. But if you enjoy this type of content, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. If you're new to the channel from Grand Archive, welcome. I'm going to be doing other stuff. I'm going to be doing the Seattle and the regional recaps for the decks and how that went. I'm going to talk about fractals. We had fractals come up, and I'm going to talk about like what the deck is and how to beat it. I think that it's a very beatable deck. We'll talk about that later. And then I'll talk about my Tristan upgrades. For my Flesh and Blood peeps, don't worry. I'm going to be doing other stuff too. I'm going to be doing my How to Ira series part 3 and 4, as well as a Calling Kobe recap. So hopefully enjoy that. But thank y'all so much. Y'all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk.